My name is Yana. Welcome to my YouTube channel of the very best. Excuse the setup or the setting. I'm in the guest room, the bed is stripped, and I'm talking in my low and slow voice tonight because people sleep, so whatever. But yes, this video is basically explaining how to stop viewing yourself through the lens of men. I have some notes in front of me to keep me on track, and yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna get right into it. The first thing that I will say on how to stop viewing yourself through the lens of men, through the lens of the patriarchy, is to shift into self-devotion. And what does that mean? Self-devotion is basically the process or the journey of learning to see yourself through the lens of God. That's basically what it is. Prioritizing yourself, learning to see yourself, etc. Right? And I'm going to explain a couple reasons why it's important, why it's helpful, and yeah. So my first reason that it's important to shift into viewing yourself through the lens of God. Well, you know what? Actually, before I get into my first reason, I am going to clarify what I mean by God, because I know that that can bring up a lot of discomfort for a lot of people, even myself. So I first want to say whatever you believe in as God is completely true and is completely valid because you believe it. And it might not look like mine or the next person, and that is totally okay. And I'm going to explain what I believe or what I mean when I say God. When I say God, I only believe in one true God, presence, awareness, source, whatever you want to call it. That is what I believe in. That's what I believe is the life force of everyone on this planet. We all share the same exact awareness, God. That's just how I feel. That's what I believe. And yes, it is not really religious. I'm not speaking from a religious standpoint, but if you are religious, that is totally fine. You know, take it as you will. Use it to your absolute best advantage. So yes, learning to view yourself through the lens of God and not the lens of men or the patriarchy. The number one reason why this is so important is because a lot of men are operating from very broken energy when they do project onto women anyway. So to view yourself through men is to view yourself through broken men, right? Because men who are actualized and, you know, they prioritize their growth, they typically are mainly attracted to women who see themselves independent from men. Yeah. So yes, the number one reason why it's so important to do this is because of the media, right? TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, there's so much being pushed in front of us in the form of dating advice coming from both men and women. And I noticed that a lot of the terms that they use to speak about women in relation to men are already so harmful. And I'm telling you, professionals with degrees, therapists, psychologists, they're all using the same language, and it can be very harmful. For example, whenever someone's talking about an avoidant or a narcissist, they always bring up the discard. They say, did your narcissist discard you? Did your avoidant discard you? They use words like that when speaking to women, as if women can be discarded. The only time something can be discarded or thrown away is when it's trash. So even when modern dating advice uses phrases and words like that, it may seem harmless up front, but it plays on a common wound that a lot of women have, which is the insignificance wound. The wound that says, I don't matter, I'm not important, I'm not good enough. Those words might look like they don't affect you on the surface, but it does something that you can't always see. So that is one of my first reasons on why it's so important to shift into self-devotion, which is learning to see yourself through the lens of God rather than the lens of men. And my other reason why is because when you view yourself, which many of us women are conditioned to do, when you view yourself through the lens of men, it can make you feel so small when you're really a giant, right? You just don't know it. But it can be so powerful that it can even make a giant feel small and little. And like I said, play on the insignificance wound. My next point is when you view yourself through the lens of men, it keeps you in competition with women. And that prevents you from being able to attract a healthy sisterhood and a healthy community and village with other women. And that's why I feel like a lot of us, we find ourselves in sorry the video cut off, but a lot of us find ourselves in relationships and we think that our man is our only friend, but really we just didn't really have the tools to create or sustain healthy relationships with other women, because that's not what we're trained up to do, right? We're trained up to learn how to cook and clean and be everything to a man, basically. And my next point is learning how to see yourself through the lens of God rather than the lens of men. It helps you to know how to be a woman. And while it might sound like silly, a lot of times we don't know how to be a woman because we don't know what being a woman is. We don't know what it means. We don't know how different and how, like, just how differently wired we are from men. Because modern dating advice is it's basically about trying to understand a man, trying to understand how a man is wired and how you have to talk to a man and how you have to be around a man in order to get him to love you, in order to earn his love, right? We are conditioned to believe that we have to earn love, and we're not really taught on who we are as women, our true value besides the roles that we play in other people's lives. So this is what self-devotion, learning how to see yourself through the lens of God, definitely helps with. Lastly, is that your roles, our roles, my role, our role as women, our roles as women are replaceable. They are, but we are not. You as an individual, you are irreplaceable, and you being replaceable is the biggest lie that the patriarchy has sold so many of us, that has us in competition, deep in insecurity and jealousy for other people. And it's nonsense. And when you learn how to see yourself through the lens of God through self-devotion, you kind of start to wake up to that, right? And it's just crazy because who you are as a woman, anybody can do what you do. Anybody can wash dishes, clean, cook, nurture, support, whatever the case is, but they cannot do it the way you do it. They cannot be you. And that is a huge part of our power as women. Nobody can take anything from you, no matter how they look or what they have, because they can't be you. And your worth is not determined by how useful you are to a man. It's great to be useful, it's great to serve and have purpose in the world, but it's not the entirety of who you are. And God forbid you are in a relationship and you break your ankle or something and you cannot perform your roles. Does that mean that you now should be abandoned or neglected? Because that's exactly what's going to happen if we continue to walk around holding beliefs like our roles are our worth when they don't determine our worth at all. You know, like I saw a woman online saying she has no use in a relationship because she don't want to clean and cook or have any more kids. And it was just a reflection of what we're conditioned to believe as women of all ages, that what we do is our worth. So, yes, learning to see yourself through the lens of self devotion, through the lens of God, is something that can help shift you out of that image, out of seeing yourself through the lens of men, of the patriarchy. And I believe that that's definitely the journey I'm on. And I believe that as more women open themselves up to it, we might experience a lot more bliss, a lot more happiness, and a lot more confidence, but it's not performative, right? It's actually genuine this time. So, yes, in my next video, I'm going to talk about ways to do that and how to do that, but I just wanted to get this video out tonight because so much stuff been happening. But thank you for watching, and I hope that this helps. Bye-bye.